Hey guys, welcome to episode 14. I think that's right. But anyway, what we're doing today, we're almost at the stage where we can get the engine out. We've just got a few more things to do. Maybe I can get them all done in this video, I don't know, but this is what I have left to do. I have to take the clutch cable off of the cylinder down there and get that all detached from the engine. I need to get the shifter arm off, which isn't much, one bolt slides right off. I need to get the front gear bevel drive off, and then on this side of the bike, I need to get off the foot controls, the foot brake, and get that stuff all out of the way. And then it's going around just making sure that all the electricals are disconnected, the starter, the spark plugs, just get all that other stuff, the stator, all that electrical stuff. It has to be unplugged from the engine. And then it's a matter of taking the bottom frame member off and getting the engine out. Of course, once we get to that point, once everything else is done and we're ready to remove that frame, I got to get the engine on a jack so we can get it out of there. So once I get that frame member off, it just doesn't boom to the floor, you know what I mean? So we got a few things to do. Let's get into this. Okay guys, so here's the clutch. As you can tell, there's no master cylinder here. So this does not run on fluid. It is a actual physical cable, and it comes down the line, down through there, comes down the frame, and comes into this thing right here. This is the bevel gear drive, and we're going to end up having to take out the bolts around it. But right now we need to take out this. We got to get this cable disconnected. We got to take this off. So yeah, let's get that out of there. All right, so what I need to do is I need to loosen this up as much as possible. And in order to do that, I need to screw the nut in as far as possible. So that goes, so the big kind of washer looking one goes out as far as possible, and then I can take my pliers and start reeling this in and get it as tight as possible. Now I should not have to disconnect the cabling from here. I'm going to disconnect it down below by the engine. So that's as loose as it's going to get right now, okay? Let's go down below. Okay, now my directions say that this little part, let's see if I can, this little part here, this little cable that goes into this area here, I'm supposed to pull that out, but I cannot release that enough. So I got to figure out how to get more slack. Okay guys, I'm having a hard time removing this out of here, and I don't know what the trick is. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this bolt, take it out, and drop this down, which will free up this whole section, and I'm hoping that I can push it back, this line back to where I can get it unclipped from here. That's what I'm hoping to do. Oh, that's actually coming off decently easy, at least up to that point. There we go. Now, hopefully, I don't know if I can, so this is no longer attached here, so that's great. But now I got to get this cable out from this hook here. Let's see if I can get this off of here now. Maybe that will help. All right, so now I got that part off. That's great. So now I should easily be able to grab a hold of this. Come on, get around there. There we go, got it out. That's all I needed to do. Of course, this little piece here, I'm going to put that screw right back where I found it. I'm actually going to reconnect the cable onto here as well. just like that, so I don't lose it. Okay, since I am here and just got that off, I think I can take this off and get my shifter taken off. Oh, that wasn't too tight. Yeah, there we go. I'll put my bolt right back into my shifter so I don't lose it. I'm gonna tighten that up just a little bit more so it doesn't come out by accident. All right. Okay, now I'm gonna loosen up all these bolts that hold in the bevel gear drive. I'm trying to make sure there's one under here, there's one here, 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 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, missed one right there, 8. So 8 bolts all the way around. All right, guys, I just want to give you a showing of these lower bolts. Okay, I got one here. Got one there. Got one way back here, right there. And then I had another one there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow, they're not a 10. I bet you they're going to be an 8. Yeah, they're going to be an 8. Oh, it's not too tight actually. At least that one wasn't. I may have to get an extension. God, I hate that feeling where I think I'm breaking them, you know. I do have my oil pan catcher down here, because there could be oil that comes out once I get this taken off. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think that's all of them loose. Kind of wish I would have done this before I actually went through and tried to loosen them all up. So just a small little 4-inch extension, a long tube, 1/4-inch drive socket, a 1/4-inch drive reducer on there. All right, so there's this front one, and it's got this little clip thing on there. So that one's on the front bottom. Pull it out. Nope, not yet. There we go. Wow. That's a long one, and it had a red Loctite on it. Okay, so there's the bottom number 2. This is the bottom number 3. Okay, that's also a long one. And it's the same size as number 2, again with red Loctite on it. And that is the back one, slightly smaller than the other 2. Okay, so this is the rear one on the bottom. All right, now let's do the top. All right, that looks long. Nope, that's the same size. Yeah, that's the same size as number 4 on the bottom, but this is number 1 on the top. That one's not loose enough to do by hand. Something tells me that this is going to have Loctite on it because of how hard it's coming out. Yep. Okay, so number 2 top is the same as number 2 and number 3 on the bottom. Okay, number 3 on the top is the same size as number 1 on the top. There we go. I do have my oil pan under here because they said that oil might leak out once this comes loose. All right, and that looks like another short one. Yep, so the only one different on the top as far as the length goes is number 2. All right, I'm actually going to get a piece of cardboard. So let me go get that, and I'll be back and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. All right, guys, this is what I ended up doing. Just a piece of cardboard. This is the top of the bevel gear drive. This is the bottom. That's the front of the bike. That's the rear of the bike. So the top 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the bottom 1, 2, 3, and 4. That way I know exactly what bolt came out of which hole. And yes, I put them in the exact order in which I took them out of there. I don't have any of the long bolts interchanged with different holes or anything like that, because I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, what's next on our list? Okay. It says I'm supposed to loosen this from the motor. But I think I'm supposed to be taking off the thing here. So there, I got 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3. I'm sure the 4th one's back here. Yeah. So that's not the right size. Okay, there we go. There's those. Okay, see if I can find this one down here. Now, I think my book says to be careful about the gasket up here, you know, that connect the bevel gear to the crankcase. So I think that indicates that I should be able to reuse that one. However, the one for the shaft drive here, the way it's kind of written, it sounds like I'm going to have to replace it. There we go, got that one out. I don't think it's going to be so much of a worry on this as it was on these to keep them straight and figure out which one's which and all that. I don't think I'll have to worry about it too much. All right. I'm trying very hard not to damage the boot, but at the same time, I'm trying to keep it out of the way. There we go. Got that one out. Now for the 2 fun ones. There we go. Excellent, excellent. There's 2, or there's number 3. Okay. Oh. Okay, got it. I guess I didn't need to take out all these bolts, so I'm going to just put them right back in. I did end up breaking the gasket, so I'm going to have to take that off and replace it. So I'm going to have cleaning to do here. And I'm not going to take anything harsh to it. So yeah, put that back in as best I can. Hey, look at that, my back wheel still spins. The splines actually look really good, so I'm impressed with that. There was some locking pin or something that they were telling me to be careful of. Little piece of a pine tree branch there. Just kind of sitting in there. Okay, so the bevel is done. Like I said, I'm just gonna have to take off this old gasket and replace it. Okay, I think I figured out what they were talking about a spline and a spring. It's actually in the bevel gear drive, and it's these pieces here. So they say, you know, be careful, don't lose them. I don't think there's an actual right and wrong way that they go in. They are independent of each other. But yeah. Okay, so bevel drive is off. This was actually one of the scarier things I've done so far. I usually don't delve into doing stuff like this. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and start taking off the brake pads. Or not the brake pads, the brake pedal on the other side. I think we got all this all done. You know, my alternator here. All these wires here go into my alternator. So, that's kind of interesting that all three are the exact same color. I may end up having to get some tape to label these. I want to make sure that I connect them back properly. This one, however, is a clip, so I should just be able to pull that down and unplug this. So there's that. There's other little wires and stuff connecting places, but I think I'm actually going to hold off on doing electrical. I want to get everything else taken care of, all the mechanical stuff. Oh, look at that, I got grease on my shirt. Oh well. So let's go to the other side and get that brake pedal off. Okay guys, so the next thing I want to do is take off my rear brake assembly. All right, so the first step is actually back here by the back tire. My first step is I actually need to loosen this nut completely. And I don't know exactly what size that's gonna be. I'm gonna say it's a 14. Yep, 14. Whoop. All right, so there's that nut. All right, now what it wants me to do is it says to press down on the brake pedal and remove the rod, just like that. All right, then what I'm going to do too is I'm going to put this right back on. I don't want to lose anything. Screw that right back on, right like that. I want to use that spring to help keep it in place. Okay, now it says to loosen this lock nut here. I really can't get in there very well, so all right, I think I got it loose enough. Then it says to back out the adjustment bolt completely. All right, so there's my lock nut, or my what this does when it's in there is it positions your lever to the height that you like. Okay, so but I need it to be able to go all the way up. Okay, next thing I gotta do is take off the pedal, so I need to remove this clamp bolt. Oh. I think I'm getting it. There we go. Okay, so that's my clamp bolt for my pedal. And then I can remove the pedal. Wow, that's one of the easiest ones I've taken off. All right, I'm gonna put the bolt right back in here again so I don't lose it. All right, now I need to take this off. Let me see. I don't know how easily these boots come off. I don't want to break the switch either. There we go. Okay, so there's my boot up and off. It says there's supposed to be some sort of a connector. But I'm not seeing any connectors. So that to me is just, that's not a connector. That's all just wired in. Oh, okay. Well, why do they hell did? I don't know. Okay, so what they have me doing is disconnecting these two wires here. All right, so they're the same colors, brown to brown, blue to blue. There we go. Feed that through there. Feed this through here. Okay. All right, so now it wants me to take off this bolt here. I'm gonna guess that it's a 14. There's that. Okay, so I took the upper one off. Now I gotta take off this lower one. There we go. And that whole assembly comes off. All right, guys, so I got the brake controls all taken off the frame. This line comes back around here and passes through this little bracket right here. So yeah, it comes through this little bracket. You see this shiny metal right here? Okay, now there's a little circlip. Okay, so I'm trying to get this screwdriver in there. Come on, there we go, there we go. All right, that little clip right there is what's holding in the brake line. So now I should be able to pull this back, get it up and over. All right, so now I can just pull out the rest of the line, just like that. Brake system is detached completely. Yeehaw! Now, in case you didn't notice, I took out my overflow reservoir. Made the job a lot easier. The mounting bolts to put the system back on the frame, I'm actually going to screw these right back in the holes. That way I don't lose them. I'm not going to put them on tight, but I want them at least in there. God, guys, we were almost getting ready to pull this motor. That's awesome. All that's left now is just to go through and pull off electrical lines. I see a screw here that's holding on to electrical. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it though, so I don't miss something and I don't put something back in the right place. And so I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to go wash my hands, get my probably my degreaser and stuff like that, and clean areas and clean wires and stuff like that, and I can, you know, label them. You know, this is number 1, it goes to number 1, okay, and I'll put like a little piece of tape on there or something to help me identify that that's where that goes. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, cool. Let's get working. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you, I went through and I tagged all my electrical lines. So that way I know exactly what gets hooked up where. Okay, I think I'm going to call it quits for this video, guys. We did a lot today. I mean, holy cow, we took off the control levers, you know, the foot controls on both sides. We took off the shifter, the brake. We took off the bevel gear drive. We labeled all the electronics. God, what a full day. I would say probably the bevel gear was the hardest part. I didn't realize that I could just, once I had those 8 bolts off the bevel gear drive, that I just had to wiggle it off of the propeller shaft for the, you know, back here. You know, I was working on those 4 other bolts thinking I had to undo those, and I didn't have to, thank God. So yeah. Yeah, it looks weird with all those, well, the brake and the shifter gone, and it just looks weird. Okay, so next time, next video, this comes out. Now the problem is that the actual removal of the motor is supposed to be a 2-person job, and I've only got myself. Yeah. So I am a little nervous about it. I'm gonna put the motor on my jack. I'm gonna get some wood, maybe some 2x4 or 4x4, put it on my jack and try to get just the motor up and yeah, supported and whatnot. And then hopefully, yeah, I'm just gonna have to take it slow and easy. That's the whole trick of it. I wish I could do some stuff on the bobbering process, but I just don't feel like it today. I would like to start doing stuff with the handlebars, the gauges. You know, I gotta take the front fender off. I gotta take the forks off, get those all resealed, oiled and everything. So I've got a lot to do yet. And, you know, it's starting to get to be winter. So it's starting to get cold. And I didn't want to come out here and work in the heat of summer. So now I'm kind of forcing myself. I've got to come out and work in the cold of winter. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, this is Mark saying thanks again for your support. Thanks for watching the video. Any comments, any suggestions are greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.